Stampers, it's Judy Klock here at Stampin' with Crafty Klock, and today I wanted to share with you the pretty Rainbow Happiness bundle. This is in our spring or January to June mini catalog. It's on page 18, and the bundle comes with the Rainbow of Happiness stamp set and the Brilliant Rainbow dies. And this little set is $44, so if you go ahead and buy that, and you can add like maybe a Stampin' seal or something to it, you'll be able to get the beautiful designer series paper for free. This is in our celebration, and this will only be around until the end of February. But this beautiful paper coordinates perfectly with this happy little stamp set. We've got Bermuda Bay, Pool Party, Flirty Flamingo, Calypso Coral, Night of Navy. There's just so many beautiful colors. Granny Apple Green. And this coordinates with the new Cloud Punch that I believe is on page, I'm not sure what page it's on, I'll have to go look. But this coordinates with our new Cloud Punch. Love that. How fun is that? And let me show you the dies. So we have a couple of different dies. There's 8 different dies here. And you have the positives and the negatives. So you've got a couple of cloud dies to make 4 clouds, a little cute little like accent punch. Then you've got this one, which you can either use this and put the paper to show behind it, or you can cut these out in different colors and make a half a rainbow. We've got this pretty little rainbow border punch that we're going to be using today. Pretty little rainbow tag. And again, you've got the rainbow dies that you can cut out all at once and use this with images behind it, or you can cut these out in different colors and stack them up and make your rainbow. So very versatile, a lot of different options here with these rainbow dies. All right, so let me show you what we're going to work on today. And I always like to do a simple stamping and then something a little bit more involved. So for our simple stamping, we've got just a really pretty little simple card. We're just going to layer it up with some different cardstock and a designer series paper and just a little punch. Gonna add a couple of those pretty brass butterflies. And that's it. That's gonna be our little simple stamping card. And then we're gonna step it up a notch. And I don't know if those of you saw my live at lunch from Tuesday, but I did the watercolor on vellum technique. And we're going to use that paper today that we did on Tuesday to pop up behind that rainbow die. And that's going to be our card for our more advanced stampers. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So I have here for our simple stamping card, I have a base of Calypso Coral. It is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. To the inside, I'm going to add a piece of our basic white, but I'm going to stamp on some of those adorable little hearts. There was like 3 little tiny heart stamps in that stamp set. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp those and create a border on the bottom of this basic white. And because these are photopolymers, I am going to use my Stampin' Pierce mat. And I'm just going to put them on there randomly. I'm just going to eyeball them. I'm not going to be too concerned about the placement. I just want to get them on there so it keeps the inside a little bit interesting. And there you have it. That's all we're going to do for our inside. Let's go ahead and add that now. Just pull out our Stampin' seal. It was so cold here today. I couldn't believe it. I went to go take the dogs out this morning and I'm like, yikes! Look in the 20s. I was not prepared for that. It's going to be 60s later on in this week. Welcome to Northern Virginia. If you don't like the weather, wait 24 hours. All right, then we have a piece of our Petal Pink. This is 3 1/4 by 4 1/2, so just a little bit, like an inch smaller than this card overall. And I'm going to put this on there on a diagonal. All right, and I'm just going to go ahead and lay this on there. And I'm going to make sure that I place it so like the edges of my cardstock don't overhang the edges of my card. So it's just a little bit of a diagonal. And then we're going to come back on here with a piece of our designer series paper. This is 3 by 4. So we're just going to go ahead and layer that up, and we're just going to have that go on the diagonal in the opposite direction. So again, real simple, real, straight cuts, nothing too fancy. I think our fanciest element is going to be our Elegant Tag Punch. We'll just go ahead and get this done. This is from our Elegantly Said product suite in the annual catalog. And we're just going to stamp on a pretty little sentiment that says, a little something to brighten your day. So how perfect is this? Let me just pull in my Stampin' Pierce mat again. Okay. So again, very simple, nothing too involved. I'm going to get some Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm going to use the minis, I think, for this one, because I like to put one kind of right up there at the top of that little tag to keep that down. So because I'm using the minis, I'm going to be a little bit more generous with these, sticking to my finger. But let's go ahead and just put these on there. Okay, we've got these on there. Just take off the backings. Backings end up all over the place. Go ahead and let me know where you're watching from. I always like to know where everybody's tuning in from, so go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know where you're coming in from. All right, we've got that, and I'm just going to go ahead and add some of these pretty little brass butterflies. These are just so pretty. I love them. But again, there's nothing really too difficult about this. This really is something that could be done by all levels of crafters. If you need something really quick and really simple, I think this is a perfect card for someone who just is either beginning or just needs something quick and easy. All right, let's go on and do our second card. Now for our second card, I've got here a base of our Flirty Flamingo. I had to think for a minute. This is, again, 8.5 by 5.5. I've scored it at 4 1/4. I'm going to put a piece of basic white on the inside, but I'm going to stamp a sentiment on there. And I love this sentiment because it's in the shape of a rainbow. But this is the only one. I'm not going to put a whole rainbow in there, but I am just going to put in, wishing you a rainbow, sending you a rainbow of happiness. I just think that is such a lovely sentiment. Okay, let me just close up my ink pads. We don't need these anymore. And you know that I'm a big messy. I always get ink all over my fingers. All right, let's go ahead and add this to the inside of our card. And I like to say, when you're doing the inside, stamp, then stick. Because if you stick it and then you stamp it and you got a mistake, you might be stuck. But at least if you stamp, then stick, if you've made a mistake, you can flip the paper over because paper has two sides. All right, now we've got a piece of our Pale Papaya, one of our new in colors. This is 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to take a piece of that gorgeous designer series paper. And this is 3 3/4 by 5. And we're going to layer those down like that. So I'm going to go ahead and stick those down. I just wanted to show you how we were going to layer those up. All right. Just love these colors. I love how they work together. That is one thing I really love about Stampin' Up! Is their color coordination and how easy it is to really have successful blending of colors, because they really help you out by having everything, you know, from the paper to the designer series paper to the ink to the markers to the ribbons. It's all color coordinated. Makes it so easy for a crafter. All right. Now, we've got a couple of different elements. I've got that pretty little rainbow border that we die cut. I've got our, like I'm calling it the rainbow, I don't know what you want to call it, just a rainbow die cut here. Another piece of our Whisper White. And these are about 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. This might be a little bit shorter because I wanted to make sure it was going to be on the back here. So on Tuesday, I did the alcohol ink on vellum technique. And I said, if you don't have the Stampin' Blend markers, I showed you how to use just our ink refills with some rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, and a paintbrush. So I've got this one here, and I'm just going to layer this over that white. And that's just really to make those colors pop more. You don't have to do this. I just kind of liked the way it looked when I kind of backed it with the white. I just felt like it made those colors stand out more. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to layer this over that. Isn't that pretty? All right, so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to kind of just put some Stampin' Seal down here. Doesn't give me a lot to work with. And I will go ahead and put the measurements in the comments later. I forgot to write them down as I was cutting them, so I will make sure that I put those there for you. Okay, let me just make sure that wasn't, okay. So there we go. Look at how pretty that is. Now, I wanted to add, thought the white was too plain, so I'm going to add this right above there. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to put some Stampin' Seal just down there. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but there's kind of like a score line. So I'm just going to go and use that as my straight edge, and I'm just going to put that right along there. Now I'm going to come in with my scissors, and I'm just going to snip off the extra pieces. Okay, got that little piece that didn't pop there. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing on the bottom. So really easy, not a lot of work involved, but I do like that we have that sort of score line there to help us get a straight edge. So makes it easy. Easy peasy. I'm going to come back here. Sometimes it's easier when you go from behind to cut it. I don't know why that is, but for me, I find that easier sometimes. All right, now I'm going to take some Stampin' Dimensionals, and we're just going to pop these on there, and we will be done with our more involved card with our die cuts and our alcohol ink on vellum technique. So you got to go back and watch Tuesday's video. It was last Tuesday. What day was that? The 8th, I think? February 8th? Go back and watch that video to see how we did the alcohol ink on vellum. There we have it. Now I just took some genial gems. We have them in our pale papaya. Because you know, you always gotta have a little bit of bling. Who doesn't love some bling? I love some good bling. Okay, just going to kind of randomly add these on. Okay. Okay, there we go. And that is it for this edition of Stamping with Crafty Klock. I hope that you enjoyed this. Like I said, the Rainbow of Happiness bundle is currently available. It's $44. If you want to go ahead and get that beautiful designer series paper that is a celebration item, you'd need to add at least one more item to bring your order up to $50. I will put an ordering link in the comments below. If you're just joining me for the first time, don't forget to click on subscribe and touch that little bell notification so you'll always know when I upload a new video. That's it. Happy stamping, everyone. See you next week. Bye.